Episode 39 of the Well Connected Podcast. We are brought to you by American Energy and Solar. Las Vegas is one of the best cities in the country for solar, but buying can be very intimidating. And our friends over at American Energy and Solar have simplified the process with its revolutionary Energy Instant Quote Calculator. Plug in a few basic numbers, such as your mortgage payment and energy bill, to get an instant estimate on how much you can save monthly. And the best part, there's no hidden fees or payment adjustments. Save thousands annually on your energy bill and keep your family safe when the power goes out, all for zero money down. Go to www.americanenergyandsolar.com to see what you can save. Use our promo code WELLConnected to get 10% off your installation, as well as a $500 Visa gift card.
This episode is also brought to you by Trattoria Italia. Trattoria Italia is a 100% family-run business. Their roots run deep in southern Italy, specifically in Sicily. Their family has been in the restaurant business since 1978 and opened their first restaurant pastry shop in Palermo, Italy. The menu at Trattoria Italia in Las Vegas is rooted with familiar dishes and Italian favorites and has a sense of adventure and fine dining. Next time you make a reservation, mention the Well Connected Podcast and receive 15% off your bill.
And we're back. Great job, G.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad. Episode 39 of the Well Connected Podcast. I am Kris Morahan. This is Gino DePietro. And we are here in the Sticky Paws Studio. And we have a special guest today.
Yes, we do.
One of our boys. I know a lot of people were asking, what's the new studio about? Who put you on?
People keep asking us all week.
It's this gentleman right here. So let's introduce Mr. Jon Orlando. Welcome.
Hey.
Good friend of the pod for a long time. Happy to have you here. And we know that you are a podcast professional, so to speak.
That might be a stretch, but I'll take it.
We saw a 24-hour podcast this past
Anyone
week.
who does that is a professional.
So you were in my chair for 24 hours.
I was.
Well, it's your chair, but where I'm sitting now. Let us know and explain to the people out there what 24 hours of podcasting's like.
Insanity. Yeah. And I last year, we did that for the first time last year. And I remember maybe around the 18th hour or so, I made an announcement on the show live last year. I said, this is the dumbest idea anyone ever could have possibly have had.
So you ran it back.
And so we ran it back. Yeah. And I actually tapped out last year in the 21st hour. I'm not good with math, guys. So last year, the show started at 8 p.m. at 8 at night. I woke up at like 8 in the morning that day.
Oh.
What was I thinking? So by the time we got to the 21st hour, I was already up for like 34, 35 hours. Like, stupid.
You're
what was
smoked.
I thinking? Yeah.
I chimed in, or I came in a few times because it was all live feed, and it was very interesting. One of the guests that I think everyone kind of loved was Mr. Bob Saget.
Yeah.
How do you even, first of all, how do you even know Bob Saget? And then also,
Bob Saget.
What a random guy, right? But huge in the entertainment business. So how do you know Bob? And what was his kind of take on you being up there for 24 hours?
Yeah, well, I've been riding my dad's coattails for a long time. So luckily, for those that all your listeners are probably under the age of 30, let alone 50 like me. So my dad is Tony Orlando, who was a pretty popular singer back in the day. In the 70s, he had a TV show. So I'm lucky that I have met a lot of people through the years, and Bob is one of those people. So I finally hit him up and was like, "Hey, man,
was interesting."
Yeah, he's interesting. He's so dirty. He's like filthy too.
Yeah.
You ever see a stand-up routine? He is like a savage up there.
It's a lot of people my age probably associate with Bob Saget as the guy that came on Entourage
I love them. I'm a big Entourage guy.
Yeah.
He does. Gino always brought him up.
He was great on that show. I mean, obviously everyone knows him from Full House.
Yeah.
As the Mr. Danny Tanner. And Danny Tanner has been kind of used as the guy, when your friend's a dorky dad, you call him Danny Tanner.
So we call my brother.
We call his brother Danny Tanner.
My brother's Danny Tanner.
Right.
Yeah.
But, and that's
like the opposite of what he is in real life, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. He's
like a freak.
Yeah, he's a freak.
He's a fucking freak.
He's a dirty savage.
Yeah.
So talk about, we're here, Sticky Paws Studio. This is your venture.
Yeah.
How did this all come about? And talk a little bit about, people like us and how you bring everybody together to sort of do the damn thing, because this is awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. And we love having you guys here.
Yeah.
You're our first customer. You're our first customer.
Yeah.
It's epic.
I like it.
I started podcasting about 4 years ago. My quick background, I'm all over the map, but I did stand-up comedy for 10 years back in the day when I was like 20-something. And I used to open for people like Tom Jones and Paul Anka. And obviously, I got my start opening for Dad, which was good for job security because at the end of the day, I was not funny. Yeah, which is not a good thing when you're doing stand-up. You really need to be funny. But I got through that, the rough patches, and I did stand-up for 10 years. And then, I was kind of entrepreneurial after that. I owned a PR firm, owned a tanning salon, just kind of bouncing around doing different things. And then 4 years ago, I decided I missed being on the microphone, not necessarily doing stand-up, but I felt like podcasting, could be a good fit for me. So I started the Action Junkeez podcast with my buddy Jake Ellenberger, who's now a retired UFC fighter. And we did a bunch of shows together. Then I moved here, and I was geographically undesirable for Jake. And he had like a couple kids along the way. So now I've got a new co-host, but my vision when I started Action Junkeez was I felt there was something with the Junkeez name. So, I saw my vision was like, well, there's Action Junkeez, but eventually there's political junkies, sports junkies, car junkies, health junkies, everything junkies. And so, the other studio I was at out here, when I first moved here, it is not cost effective. If you're going to do one show, this can make sense. But if you want to do 20 different kind of shows, you can't rent by the hour. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So, and with that, Sticky Paws Studios was born, and here we are.
Yeah, amazing. And I think a lot of people over the past year, especially with the pandemic, podcasts have grown. Yeah. Right, times 10. What made you 4 years ago decide to, do podcasting? Because it really wasn't that popular, and podcasting is very, very new to the masses. It's been around for, 15 years or so, however long, but it's really been around to the masses for the last couple years. So what kind of vision and how'd you even see that as becoming a thing when no one really did? Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to sound kind of corny, but, literally listening to Joe Rogan and Joe Rogan talking about podcasting, and like he'd have a lot of his friends on that were comedians and stuff that weren't like exactly well known. Obviously he has some big people, but then he just has like Schaub and those guys.
Right, yeah.
Known in the comedy
them too.
circuit.
Like they started doing it. I was like, man, I thought, well, I could do this. Like, if I did stand up, obviously I could talk, on a podcast. And then I follow Gary Vaynerchuk on Instagram, and he's like, he was giving advice. He went through like a 6-month period where he just kept saying the same thing every week in and week out. Triple down at what you're good at. Right. And I felt like that was talking for me. It's probably the only thing I'm good at. So, I gave it a shot. That Gary V thing is funny. I like Gary V a lot. Yeah. There's things I don't like about him, and it's funny for being.
You don't like the way he swears or something.
Exactly.
Like that, right?
That's
really.
I love.
And I'm from New York, and I curse all the time in my life. I don't like how he pushes that on. It seems almost forced. Yeah. I'll give him a pass because he is an accepted New Yorker. He's an immigrant, but he's an accepted New Yorker, right? Yeah. But what I do like what you said, and I want to touch on that, is for my whole life and most of our lives, we've always heard like work on your weaknesses, and try to if you're not good at something, then practice. And he says, F that. Yeah. Take what you're good at and run with it. Right. So I think that's pretty cool that you decide to do that. You kind of know what you're good at, man. Yeah.
I want to know about stand-up comedy. When I was driving in today, I just had this weird thought in my mind. I was listening to someone who was doing stand-up comedy stuff, and I think everyone has that thought. They're like, I could probably do that, but to get up there and do it must be just so scary.
Oh my God.
I just couldn't even imagine.
It's awful. Yeah, it's terrible. First time I ever did stand-up was in Branson, Missouri. My dad, where he lives now. Branson is kind of like Vegas without casinos or any fun. So instead of hotels, you've got performing arts theaters. Got it. So older guys like my dad and Mel Tillis and the Osmonds, they all have theaters out there. Or my dad doesn't anymore, but. So, he gave me the opportunity, hey, do you want to try doing stand-up? Because when I was little, I watched legend after legend open for him. Everyone from Jay Leno to Dave Letterman to Steve Martin to Roseanne, you name them, they opened for him. Brad Garrett, I mean, it's endless. So I always kind of was intrigued by stand-up, and I was always the class clown. But it's definitely a whole different ballgame. Being funny in your living room, being funny at the dinner table, and being funny on stage are two totally different things. And
bombing.
Which
it was a real thing.
Remember I said I'm good at talking? I'm good at bombing. Yes, I
tell me
did
about
learn that. Yeah,
Tell me
I mean, it
about
was
that.
awful. So my first time on stage was the grand opening of my dad's theater in 1993 in Branson, Missouri. 2,000 people, totally sold out.
man.
It's pretty busy.
In the audience is Entertainment Tonight doing a feature on my dad.
Oh my
right?
God.
Bill Cosby's agent at the time, before Bill Cosby was
dropping stuff in drinks.
Bad to say that. Yeah. People like Wayne Newton, all Andy Williams, all these like famous people that took their time out to come to my dad's grand opening, and I had to do 5 minutes. That was it. 5 minutes. I've never been on stage before in my life. No open mic nights, no nothing. I have zero experience doing stand up, and I remember doing sound check earlier that day, and I was holding the microphone. I'd never even held a microphone. Just holding a microphone.
If you've never done it.
When you've never done it, it's weird, you know? And I remember telling my dad, I was like, hey, I want like a lavalier. I don't want a handheld mic. And my dad goes, no, you don't want that. And I said, yeah, this feels like this doesn't. I want to be like Carson.
Yeah.
I want to be like Johnny Carson. Like I want to be like, just give me a lavalier. And my dad says, you're not going to know what to do with your hands. And I'm thinking, what a stupid thing to say. Like what? My dad's only at the time doing this 40 years at the time, now, 60 years. What does he know? What could he possibly know? Right. So he's like, okay, so they put me on this lavalier and, I get on stage and wow, I didn't know what to do with my hands. He's not kidding. It was like they had a mind of their own, just flailing around.
God.
I went through the 5 minutes of material that I wrote out that week in about a minute. A sweaty mess, talking so fast. It was awful. Just
like me reading the ad read before this.
no, you were fine. You guys are fine.
You're good. I listen. I know. I think
I could not imagine.
People have told me in my personal life, "Oh, you're a funny guy." This and that. There is 0% chance.
But everyone has had that thought, like, "Oh, that's easy. I could probably get up there and do that."
You know what? I think the best stand-up comics, for me at least, because they talk about things you can relate to. So when Dave Chappelle or whoever, Seinfeld or whoever, they start talking about real life stuff, you're like, "Oh, I do that. I can just talk about mine." But delivery and what to do with your hands and things like that.
But you get used to it. You know what? I tell everyone, I think it's a good thing for everyone on the planet to do just one time, because you learn a lot about yourself and you learn, that it's just sink or swim up there, and you just got to battle through it and get through it. And I think it really is helpful just in business.
Right.
I actually have a very similar story. It wasn't stand-up comedy, but in my freshman year of college, a small community college, I had a public speaking class, and same deal.
Yeah.
They give you a 5-minute. I forgot what the topic was. I picked Michael Jordan, something that I felt like I knew well enough where I can talk for 5 minutes. Practice at my house in front of my family, in front of my girlfriend, whatever, in between bong rips. And I'm doing it, and of course it goes 5 minutes, and I'm already like an outgoing guy, so I think no problem. I get up there in front of 25 people maybe, and all of a sudden, like you said, I just feel the sweat dripping.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I start getting nervous. I'm like shaking a little bit, and everything, all the words on my paper just are mumbo jumbo. I probably got through it in about 2 minutes, and I think it was the best lesson I ever learned. I used to say, I still say it sometimes, but saying the word all the time, how you don't see comedians do that, right? Or people that get up in front of public.
So true.
So just little things like that. I agree. I think everybody should need to.
Public speaking's what number one fear of all people.
Yeah. Which I hated too. Like getting an oral book report when I was in school or something. I hated that.
More than death. People fear public speaking more than death.
And I think that even more so in today's world, in kids that I see now, everything's going towards technology.
These kids are screwed.
And distancing and learning from remote locations. They're not used to
social skills. Let's see some kid give a 5-minute presentation right now.
Right. Exactly.
Smoked.
Terrible. You are a big MMA guy. We touched on one of your boys earlier. We were talking some big fights this past week. The big one was obviously Stylebender, who's my guy, and everyone knows him.
Yeah.
What do you think about these fights in Vegas with no fans at the Vegas, the location, the UFC headquarters and stuff like that? Is this something that we can sustain, or do you think let's get back to normal?
I definitely want to get back to normal.
Yeah.
You know that. We're Facebook friends.
Right.
We don't always agree, but obviously it's way better with the fans, but I'm such a fan. I can watch.
You can do it.
Yeah, I can do it. It doesn't bother me, but it's definitely different energy. I mean, it's completely different.
Fighters-
You've been to a fight, right? Have you been?
We're the fight guys.
Our nickname was the Fight Guys
were the
because
Fight
there was a streak of probably
We went to every fight for like a year straight.
Okay.
boxing and UFC. We would just go to everything.
Never missed a fight.
Yeah.
We love it.
So good, right?
The energy.
The energy's
So
unreal.
exciting.
I mean, we were there for, what was it, Cowboy versus McConnor?
We saw that one. We saw Khabib too when they
saw
jumped
Khabib.
over the thing. I was at that fight.
Yeah, I
I
was
saw
at
a
that
bunch
fight.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen McGregor fight. I know I saw the one with when he got choked out, and then Diaz, and then I
Diaz.
saw the rematch with Diaz. All of them, they're great.
Now, you know a lot of fighters personally. Talking to them, how do they get amped up for a fight when there's no one around? It's got to be a totally different kind of feeling for them, right?
It is. I think some love it and some hate it. You know, some feed off the crowd, but also some of them, it's a little less pressure. If you're not like a high profile guy, there is something to be said about that. And, you know, it can be an advantage to have the crowd behind you, and it can also be an advantage to not have the crowd, you know, because a lot of times if you get rocked and the crowd's
Reacts
feeding
to
on
it.
that,
Yeah.
that feeds to the fighter that just rocked you.
Right.
His adrenaline comes up. It's just automatic no matter what. So it may, in some cases, be a little easier. Like if you get rocked. Example, even the last few fights that, not the Adesanya fight, but what fight was it? Maybe the week before. There was blood in the water, but because there was no fans,
They were able to.
yeah, I think he was able
weather the
to
storm.
compose himself a little bit.
It's kind of all sports right now is weird with no fans too.
Yeah.
Because like you do feel like some players, like maybe in a basketball or football, are maybe outperforming what they usually are because there's no fans there, and like you know, like someone in the bubble, like I don't know if you follow basketball, but like a Tyler Hero.
Right.
A rookie in the NBA playing in the NBA bubble. There's no fans there, and he's balling out of control.
Right.
Now he's just like a normal player
Right.
now. And you know what I mean? So
It's a gym game at that point.
it's the scrimmage.
right?
So
Yeah.
Yeah, as for me, I look at UFC as one of those sports where it's like, let the fucking fans be there.
gotta
Yeah.
have it.
You have to have fans for that.
Yeah.
I could see basketball. we're talking gladiator style fighting.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
we're doing, right? We're
Yeah.
just sitting there. It's so weird when people are getting knocked out unconscious and it's like echoes in the room.
Right.
And boxing was the same way.
Yeah.
I saw Dana White calling out Jake Paul recently.
Today I just saw that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saying what?
So it is kind of insane, but Jake Paul is fighting Ben
Askren.
Yep,
Yep.
from the UFC, a former fighter.
Yep.
And
In a boxing match or UFC
yeah,
match?
boxing.
it's a boxing fight. Now Ben is known as a wrestler.
Right.
He's not a
Highly decorated wrestler.
right. He's not a striker,
So
but he's
he's-
still a fighter that's been in some world class.
But he's a little out of his. I mean, this is not his specialty.
Dana White came out, told Mike Tyson, and told Zab Judah straight
Yep.
up, I'll bet $1 million that basically Jake Paul gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Really?
Jake Paul responds back and said, "Double down, motherfucker."
Yeah.
Those kids are confident, man.
$2 million.
They are.
Let's put that money in escrow, and I'm waiting for Dana's response.
Yeah.
I mean, that's penny. That's a drop in the bucket for Dana White.
Yeah, right.
He's
probably
like, whatever.
Probably for both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
MMA fighters venturing into the boxing world. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't love it. I mean, I liked the Conor Floyd thing,
That was fun.
but I think it's one and done. Like I don't think
One-offs.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of it as a spectacle. Like I think it made sense for Conor and Floyd financially, and also Conor was at that point like he was larger than life. Like all the non-fans knew who Conor McGregor was at that point, or many non-fans. But I don't need.
It's like
to
a mock.
see-
It kind of makes a mockery of the sport almost.
Yeah. I don't want to, and I certainly don't want to see Jake Paul fighting. Like, if he's gonna box, great. Like, but don't fight basketball. But like, let me see you go fight
Nate Robinson.
fight Zeb Judah's sparring partner. Let me just see you do that.
right.
Fight Zab
like,
Judah.
You can't
Get
call
smoked.
yourself a boxer. And I think that's Dana's point. Like, come on, man. Like, you're 2-0 or whatever his record is
Against Nate
bullshit.
Robinson. And
Come on.
I'm pretty confident I could beat Nate Robinson in a boxing fight. I'm not kidding.
from what
Right.
I
I'm
saw,
not kidding. I'm not kidding.
I probably
Yeah.
couldn't, but still, from what I saw, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
embarrassing. But
like, if
Conor's
you're
one of
gonna-
your favorite guys, right?
Connor's my absolute favorite.
My favorite
fighter.
too. I love him. So exciting.
I understand why some people hate on him and stuff. But,
He's an entertainer. He's a promoter. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
And if you live in Vegas, those are the guys you want because
Yeah.
that's what makes the city electric. To have a guy like that who brings 1 million people into the city, you know, like that's what you need.
I've definitely drank the Connor Kool-Aid to the point where I made, I don't know if you know, I lost some silly bets.
Oh boy,
betting
drinking
on Connor.
drinking proper.
Oh, is this the
drinking,
one?
You drinking the
Terrible.
whiskey too? You drinking the proper?
I don't really drink, so although
I saw. Was it the one on? No, was it on the strip you were at?
in the diaper?
What? Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Jesus.
I saw
So,
video of that.
Connor versus Floyd. I know it sounds crazy.
I was at that fight.
Yeah, me too. I know it sounds crazy, but how about the uppercut though?
No,
I mean,
He had him for like a round and a half or 2 rounds. You thought,
Yeah.
But I think that was just Floyd feeling him out. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he could. I thought the left.
You thought the power. You just saw the
So
power.
I bet
The
my
uppercut.
buddies over at MMA Junkie. They do the show over at Mandalay Bay. I bet them. Oh, I'm like Connor was going to win. I'm just talking all kinds of shit, and they're like, okay, if Connor loses, you have to walk around Mandalay Bay for an hour or no, 30 minutes in a diaper.
Oh,
and I was like, bet. Wasn't even worth. I legit thought Connor was going to knock Floyd out. Never mind win. So like just knock him out cold. The first time he lands that left, obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I ended up in a diaper. So I tweet, hey, I'll be in a diaper Monday morning as a bet to bet. See you Monday morning at Mandalay Bay. Come on by if you want to laugh. I guess Mandalay Bay security, because I tag Mandalay Bay, they get wind of it. They email the MMA Junkie guys, and they're like, yeah, tell your buddy, he's not walking around here in a diaper. Not going to happen. So then they made me sit in the studio, like at the foot of their desk, just holding up a sign. I wasn't allowed to talk. Their show's 2 hours live. I wasn't allowed to talk. I just had to sit there. Unless they spoke to me, I had to just sit there holding a sign saying I bet on Connor like an idiot or whatever. And after the show, they're like, I'm like, okay, bet paid. And they're like, no, it wasn't embarrassing enough. The bet was you'd walk around. Like public shame was really the bet. And I'm like, well, you guys got like 1 million people watching this. That's not enough shame.
That's not enough for you guys?
They're like, we need to witness the shame. So they made me go out on that bridge that connects maybe New York to whatever.
The little mall over there.
Yeah. And I was out there. It was really
a little public reaction, a lot of pictures with tourists.
A lot of pictures with tourists. To the point where 2 days later, I'm on a plane to L.A. I had to go to L.A. for a day for a couple meetings. And I'm on a Southwest flight. I'm sitting on the aisle. And then tap, tap, tap. I turn around. And the guy's like, you're the diaper guy, right? I'm like, wow, really? Because it ended up on like Colin Cowherd. Ended up on the front page of Bleacher Report.
The Herd.
You could have been like the naked cowboy in New York City. It could have been a real thing.
Without the abs.
Yeah, without anything.
The
just
abless
just in a diaper.
wonder. Yeah.
You're a big Connor guy. We talked about that. What's next for him? And now me and you last 2 fights ago, we talked about it. I just said, hey, Connor's going to get his ass kicked. And you're like, no way, Connor.
True.
I say he's going to get his ass kicked because I in my mind, this is how I feel about fighters. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
And athletes, a lot of athletes in general.
Yeah.
When you, especially fighting, when you get to a certain level, you're just not hungry anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Once
it just
you make
makes
enough money.
It just makes sense. Like guys
it's hard
like
to argue against that.
guys like
theory.
Anderson Silva that did it for so long. It's almost
Crazy.
that doesn't happen. You know,
Right.
I friends of mine are very close to Chris Weidman. Went to college with him.
Love him.
Right, amazing, right? A little over his head probably with some of the stuff he did. He won a little fluky-ish with Silva, but a great fighter, amazing wrestler. But once he got to the top, and he'll probably tell you the same thing, when he fought Luke Rockhold, I mean, he got murdered.
Yeah,
right. Like,
but you know what? He went. I don't know if you remember. I was at that fight. He went for that stupid spinning kick.
Yes, right.
And he kind of lost his balance. Like he didn't need to do that.
That's not his game.
It changed the whole course of that
Try
fight.
to do an Anthony Pettis swinging kick.
I mean, for a guy that was an All-American wrestler for years, and I've seen him in college take down people and absolutely destroy them.
I'm a huge Weidman fan. I had him to beat Silva, and I had him to win by knockout. Like it was 8-1 or something crazy back then.
And he did it. So I've seen it firsthand with some people. But what's next for Connor? Is this guy is he gonna still have the flavor? I mean, how many times can you lose in UFC and still have that hype?
Yeah, I don't think his hype train will ever derail, but it's possible I drank the Kool-Aid, which is basically what this is. And I think next is going to be the Poirier rematch.
Yes. I'll watch that.
If you're Dustin, how do you not? Like, why would you fight? Yeah, I mean, why would you, like, who cares? I think of course they all want the belt, but when you fight with Connor, it's a different deal. The payday it's massive.
Yeah. It's the Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
It'll be in Vegas. And
yeah. So what's he gonna do? Fight Charles Oliveira?
Yeah. No one cares.
Nobody cares. You're gonna fight Connor if you can do it. You know.
Yeah.
And I do think Connor wins that rematch. I'm just.
I know. I'm with you.
You got to remember, and I hear what you're saying, but I don't think Connor's washed up. Connor, it's to your point, right? Okay, you make $100 million. Now he just made what, another $100 million?
He got whipped up a couple of times. Now he's gonna.
Right. You know, when he came back and fought Khabib, that was the worst possible matchup after a really long layover. Right. He got sloppy and he got dropped. If he doesn't get dropped, I know you can't do the if game, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Play it.
If he doesn't get dropped in round 2. Round 3 is the one round that Connor won. He won round 3. You might make a case that if he doesn't get dropped and get beat up on the ground round 2,
he
probably puts Khabib out in round 3.
No one's put Khabib out. Does he come back? Does Khabib come back and fight?
100%. No one can.
Yeah.
They can't stay away.
Yeah.
Name a fighter that's ever
Yeah.
been able to retire and stay away.
Floyd.
Yeah, what do you mean? He's been back
He
several
came back and
times.
fought
Fought
Conor.
that-
Doesn't
and
that's
count.
not a-
and then he
but-
fought some guy in Japan.
But those aren't
I
real
think
fights, guys.
Floyd will fight Manny again.
I don't want to see that.
I don't
Nobody
even-
wants to see
I don't
want
wanna
to
see
It's a
that
waste.
either.
Yeah.
What about these
That's a
old guys? What
waste.
about like Tyson and what's his name, Roy Jones fighting? What do you think
Yeah.
about those old guy fights?
I would love it if it was a fight. Like
Yeah. Yeah, no rules. It was too.
he didn't. I don't think he even hit him in the head once. Did
Roy
he?
Jones was doing that weird like fadeaway left jab thing.
Yeah,
it was
I would-
terrible.
And now I don't think it's confirmed, but I think it's Tyson Holyfield next, right?
Oh, I would watch that.
I would
all
love to
day.
watch that.
Right?
All day, I'll watch that.
I think Holyfield beats his ass.
I don't know. Who
I don't
knows? But
know.
I'll watch it. I know that.
Yeah.
They couldn't do that with UFC, right? They couldn't bring back some old timers.
What's the point?
Do you think they could do like a Hall of Fame tour?
I think they could. Like,
Would you
I
want
mean,
Ken
we
Brock
kind of
Lesnar?
saw that with Chuck and Tito and Bellator.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, but I think Chuck was too far removed from the game. You know, it's tough. Like, it's a level of. It's
Yeah.
the highest possible level of competition.
How much has you have like the MMA world changed since you've been a fan? Watching from, I'm sure, probably the early 90s.
Yeah,
I would imagine,
yeah.
Until now.
Yeah, like I watched in the early 90s, but it wasn't until like 2001. Like Tito, I think Tito Chuck and like those matchups, like you know,
Manhattan Bad Boy
and
or
Randy Couture, you know, those fights, and then once like maybe 06 came around, maybe 05, 06, that's when I kind of became a super fan. I used to own a PR firm, and I represented Frank Trigg
Oh, yeah,
for a
cool.
while. If you remember
Yes,
Frank
of course I
Trigg,
do.
and so he was with Pride at the time. So that was the first fight I ever went to. I went to a Pride fight. Nick Diaz was on the card. Trigg was on the card. Dan Henderson was on the card.
Love Dan
yeah, and being there, I was like, wow, okay, yeah, I'm in. Like before, I was just what the internet would call casual.
Yes.
Now ever since then, yeah.
It seems to me like those guys were a lot. Maybe it was just the times. I'm a big throwback guy in any sport. He knows
Yeah.
it. We talk basketball. I love the NBA. I hate today's NBA.
Yeah.
Give me the 80s and 90s. I'm the same.
Agreed.
I'm almost the same way with MMA. I'm a fan, but give me guys like Dan Henderson. Give me guys like Ken Shamrock and Tito and Chuck. They just seem like different people.
Yeah.
Like those. I felt like those guys in their personal life would just like fight you in the street. And
Probably.
the Diaz brothers are kind of like that.
The Diaz brothers for sure.
They're a
And we know
throwback.
them.
They're a throwback.
They're friends of the pod.
Yeah, they're a
friends.
Are they? Yeah.
Oh, Nick Diaz is a friend of mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's a good dude.
I love Nick Diaz. He was my favorite fighter for the longest time.
It seems like they really lived that life. Hey, if I see
those
you
guys are a
and you
throwback.
fuck with me, I'm going to knock you out.
Right. I flew to Montreal to watch Diaz and GSP.
Did you really?
I was such
See,
a big,
exactly.
And I love both. I
GSP
love
was
GSP
great.
and
GSP come
Diaz.
back.
I think he does, doesn't he?
that would be something that
he
we
comes
would
back and he
watch.
fights Khabib,
Khabib.
at
That'd be a good
165 maybe or something.
He said that's
or-
all 165 for Khabib is going to be tough, huh? Is
Yeah.
going to come up like
I mean, GSP can't go down to 155.
no way.
There's
How
no
old is
way.
he?
I don't know. 37?
No, he's older than that. I think.
Is he?
I think he's older than that.
Yeah.
Either way, it's not easy to come back and lose all that kind of weight,
Yeah.
especially.
He's
get ready.
so good. He's the GOAT, right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I think so. He was my favorite. He also has like just a cool name.
It's a cool name, cool way
He was
talks,
cool. He used to party in Vegas
Mike
all the
Guerrero
time.
when he says Mike Guerrero.
Yeah,
You know?
he would just be like, I mean, his shoulders.
He
are
was
just,
shredded.
He's just so square.
Yeah.
Don't like GSP with hair.
No.
He has hair. Speaking of
shave
hair,
Yes. Speaking of hair,
Yes, we need to get on this.
before we get you out of here,
Okay.
We have to talk about
All right,
this.
we'll talk about it.
So we all are at a wedding in Mexico. All three of us were at a
Yeah.
wedding, our friend Brad's wedding, and we were talking, and that's the first time we had really kind of really talked.
Yeah.
And right away we start talking about hair, probably because I just had the surgery.
Yeah.
And it was kind of growing in. It's a big topic on the podcast.
Always.
We talk about it all the time, my hair. But confirmation that next week you
Yes,
are
a week from today, next week, I'm going under the knife.
Yes!
I'm getting
This
it
is a
done.
big
I'm
deal.
going to join the club.
Yes! We are huge advocates
Big
of hair
fan of
on the
this.
show.
Yeah.
Big fan of this.
I had no hair, and I'll show you a little.
Both of
something
us are
here.
hair survivors.
I mean, I've got something here.
Yeah.
Got a lot going on.
I think that any male that has you got a little cash to spend because it's not cheap.
Yeah.
If you got it, it's the best investment you could ever make.
Yeah.
Invest into yourself.
I'm
Gino?
so jealous looking at you right now. It's
Oh, man, it's
insane.
flowy.
Don't be.
It's
Don't be.
flowy.
It's everywhere. I don't have gel in it. I wear a hat on the podcast,
Yeah.
but I'm happy you're getting it done. Are you excited?
I'm really excited. I'm really excited because, what's kind of held me back. Aside from pricing, was like, how do you know the guy's any good? Like, how do you know? Like, anyone
course.
can put any before after picture on a website. Like, I don't really know if you're legit. I would think that you would be, but I don't know. And it wasn't until talking to you in Cabo, and you were
Yeah.
like, go over to my guy, go see
use my guy. Listen,
yeah.
well,
You getting a referral of like a?
yeah.
I'll reach out to
getting
him.
something for that?
I should. We're gonna get them on
Sending
the podcast.
that guy a lot
Yeah.
of business.
I am sending them business. I've had four. This is my fourth friend now.
It's the best thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went to Corsandi also?
I didn't
You
go to
too?
that
Oh,
guy.
okay,
I've gone to a guy in L.A. and then I went to another med spa out here. So I've done both. So you're getting the linear scar.
Right.
You got the neograph.
The neograph.
I've done both.
Oh.
So I'm just.
You're all in.
I've done it all.
So let's just talk about pain real quick.
Okay, that one's.
Oh, no, see, he's
yours
wincing.
is way worse.
It is?
Way worse. I don't know. Did they say they're going to put you out or no?
No, he said they just numb you.
Yeah.
Like they
yeah, I think maybe the numbing stuff will be
needles
better.
going in your
this
head
was
though
like
can't
10
feel good.
years ago though. So
Gino got it when it was archaic.
Yeah, dude, they didn't have. It was brutal.
Right.
They didn't give me numbing pain. It was awful. That surgery.
Wait, whoa.
Back then, they didn't give me shit. They just gave me like a little pill, and they're like, "Yeah, you're good." I'm like, "All right." Dude, it was crazy.
Got smoked.
Crazy.
Listen, don't anyone fuck with you.
No, it was crazy.
You've got pain tolerance.
It was one of the worst days ever, but it worked out. And then that surgery was like a cakewalk. The neograph is like I was sitting there watching Game of Thrones the whole time when I had that surgery.
See, I had a completely different experience. I don't think it's as painful. I think it's like you basically get
Just
a
getting
local
a little
anesthesia.
pinch,
but
little needle.
It's like
pinch.
Novocaine. So you get a lot of them all in your head. Boom, 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 boom. Your head is completely numb, and you can literally watch TV. For some reason, I kept, and then if you feel some pain while they're doing it,
they just reshoot you.
You say, "Hey, I feel that. Give me some more." I must have said that 20 times.
Really?
They shot me up so much that I was just kind of like, "Whoa!" By the end of it,
Really?
And I should not have drove home, which I recommend that you don't drive home.
Okay.
I shouldn't have, and I thought it's one of those things where you have 10 beers, you think you're good, you're not good.
Yeah.
And I drove home like I shouldn't have, but I get there and my face, like the next day, it all swollen. But pain, as far as pain goes, out of 10. Probably like 6.
Once you get,
Okay.
I think
it's a 6.
I think it's just the technology.
Do you have any
it just
tattoos?
wasn't.
No.
I don't have any tattoos either.
Yeah.
So people would tell me it's like getting a tattoo.
It's like getting a tattoo. I have one.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Classic Italian thing right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. East Coast Italian.
Wow.
well, good luck next
And
week.
It's 8 hours, right?
It took me 8 hours.
It's like a
And
full day.
you have like you have more hair than I had. I had no hair. But
I'm pretty.
you got the thing in the
I
back.
got a big patch back there on top of my head.
But it's gonna be great. I'm
think
excited
so.
for you.
You're going to like it. Your podcast, Action Junkeez.
Yes.
Political Junkeez.
Yes.
What else you got going on?
All
Let
the
people know.
Junkeez. Yeah, we're launching Fitness Junkeez next week. I host Action Junkeez, but Brian Howie hosts Political Junkeez. My buddy Giovanni Elmore hosts Fitness Junkeez, and we're just going to keep knocking out the Junkeez.
And the studio's amazing.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
man.
having
Yes.
us.
Yeah,
You got this
thank
thing.
you.
This thing is basically plug and play. Walk in.
Yeah.
We got Travis, the
We got
producer.
Travis. As long as you got Travis, it's
the
good.
flesh. Yeah, we got everything.
If anyone in the Vegas area is looking to jumpstart a podcast, reach out to Mr. Jon Orlando.
Yeah,
send you a
please.
message, right? Your
Yeah.
Instagram will be pop up on the screen there at
Yeah.
Jon Orlando.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming, pal.
Thank you,
It's
man.
awesome
This was
having
a lot
you.
of fun. Such
Yeah,
an
man.
impromptu thing. I
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
great.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
You're listening to Well Connected with Kris Moe and GBills, the #1 podcast in Las Vegas.
Mike's hot.
Welcome back. Well, that was cool.
That was awesome.
John is the man over here.
He put us on.
He's the one that put us on. Him and our boy. We can't forget you behind the desk, the guy controlling all of our features, Mr. Travis. How you feeling today?
What is good? I feel good that I'm on the mic. Got my lower third ready.
Yes.
He was ready for that.
I like that. Flesher pressure. We
Everyone,
like it.
everyone had
Don't
good
ask.
feedback about Travis. this
Great
week.
feedback,
Really
Travis. You're
good.
the man. Thank you so much.
No problem, bro.
Let's get into it. We've had a huge week, both locally, nationally, everything. The stimulus checks. Everyone wants to know about just the COVID relief bill in general.
Mm-hmm.
It was signed today by President Biden. Some cliff notes: $1,400 for $75,000 or less, and it kind of scales up and down from there. 89% of taxpayers will qualify for some kind of the stimulus.
I think it's good.
It's got to be.
It's
good.
great.
no matter who you.
Money's money, right? $1,400 is $1,400.
Country's never been as divided as it is right now politically, in my opinion. Maybe in
agreed.
like the 1800s, but right now it's very tough. But I think a stimulus check is good for anybody. Also, there's a child credit out there for some money, so there's going to be cash on the way, helping small businesses as well. All good things.
I think it's great things.
Awesome. COVID in Nevada.
Yeah.
Cases were the highest they've been in a long time.
I know. I saw
600, longest in a month, the most in a month actually. 618 cases.
We have to attribute it to that. Just people kind of being like, "Let's go out."
Little
And things
loosey-goosey.
opening. Yeah. Then this is what a couple weeks ago we both kind of said, err on the side of caution just a little bit, but it is tough because things are open.
It's hard. It's
It's
hard
tough.
to. It's hard to tell people the numbers are down,
Yeah.
the deaths are down. the vaccine's out and it's hard to tell people to relax. No one wants to hear that.
No, and and I was out this weekend. Obviously, we had pools open and clubs open this weekend, and it's busy and people are in town. And I don't know if it's necessarily if it's tourists coming in or if it's locals just going out. I'm not sure what it is that's causing that number, but it's definitely some energy in the city, and people want to get back to their normal life. There's no doubt about it.
Today, it was just announced right before we came in, actually, we added in here, Southern Nevada expands the vaccine to the hospitality and food workers in town. So far, there's been 578,000 people vaccinated, and that's mostly healthcare workers and frontline workers and teachers, educators, things like that. But now you're talking hospitality business. That's a large chunk of people in Vegas, right?
Now you're talking daddy.
So it's
I had my shot today.
You did. I canceled mine. I got nervous.
So little story. So I
got nervous.
I had a couple friends at work say, "Hey, I got the shot." I'm like, "How? You're not 65. You're not a health worker. You work in a fucking nightclub. Like, how are you getting the shot?" I'm like, dude, just call Walmart. Keep calling. Keep bugging them. They're like, all right, I got it. I had like 3 people had gotten it. So I'm like, fuck. I mean, I'm out in front of everybody. I want to get this shot. I'm tired of just worrying about it all the time, like shaking hands, this and that. Like, I don't want to think about it. I just want to get the shot and be done with it. So I went on. I called them. They were like, oh, well, are you a healthcare worker? Are you frontline? Are you an educator? No. Okay. I'm like, listen, I work in hospitality. Like, all right, well, actually, people who handle food and hospitality, that's all going to come next week. Like, all right, well, she goes, oh, just go online and make an appointment. I was like, all right, cool. I'll just go on and make an appointment. So I go on and make an appointment, and I said I was a educator. Yeah. And then today was my appointment. But I also told you, I said, yo, go make your appointment. So you made one for 11 a.m. this morning. Mine was at 12.
I made mine for 11:40. So
and what happened?
Probably the one right before
Yes.
you. They called me and they said, hey, we have your appointment, Kris. Can you come down? Can you prove to us that you are a educator like you said you were? Now, the scumbag part of me was going to say, well, I teach here and blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to lie.
Right. Because you could have lied, but then they could have asked you for proof.
And I don't want to lie. I just don't want to lie.
Right.
So I thought it was going to be an easier process than that. So I got nervous. I got cold feet. I canceled today. And literally right after that, you go. And then the announcement comes that they're allowing hospitality. Yeah. And I own a restaurant. So I'm thinking, okay, well.
Yeah, now you're good.
Now
I think I reaped your benefits because when I got there, they said, okay, are you a healthcare worker? And I said, no. Are you 65? No. Are you an educator? No. I'm like, okay, sorry, we can't do that. I said, listen, I talked to the woman yesterday on the phone. She told me, if you work in hospitality, you're good. Well, no, sorry. I said, listen, I called out of work today. I took the whole day off to get this shot. They said, hold on, let me see what I can do. They called me back. Hey, okay, we can take you.
You finagled.
Yeah, so I got it done. I bullied my way in. My left arm is really sore.
Is it really?
Really sore.
I think it's a placebo.
But I feel fine.
Yeah, good. Easy enough. When's your second appointment? They give it to you already?
Yeah, April 15th.
They spaced out. Oh, it's almost a month then, or a month. Whatever. Either way, good for you.
I'm happy.
Kamala Harris, vice president, is coming to Vegas this week. She's coming with the second gentleman, Douglas Emhoff,
cool.
her guy.
Cool. Was that her boyfriend or her husband?
Is second gentleman tight?
No. Second gentleman is not tight. You don't want to be a second gentleman.
I didn't realize that was what they called him. I know that they were having like the, is it the second dude?
Is that what you're called? The second gentleman?
He's the second gentleman.
And if there's a first lady president, you're the first gentleman?
You're the first gentleman.
That's trash.
Is there going to be a female? Is there going to be a female president anytime soon?
I hope so.
I think so.
I got no problem with that.
I think so too.
But I don't want to be the first gentleman.
You don't want to be the first husband of.
What the fuck?
People would want to cancel you for
that. It's not an episode of 24.
There's been a lot of cancel culture stuff lately.
Yeah.
Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah.
People are coming after Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, why?
People are going after Dr. Seuss.
What's this all about?
Do you think people just have too much goddamn time on their hands?
I do think that, and I think people want to get back to their life, which brings me back to my point. Yes, people are just have way too much time on their hands at home doing nothing.
I think if we're starting to go through with a fine comb all of the creepy animals that have been on,
there's a lot of them.
Disney.
Oh, so is that what it is? Because Pepe Le Pew's creepy?
Yeah, he's creepy.
Yeah, he's great though.
He's a French guy.
We grew up on that
all
guy.
French guys are creepy.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Don't cancel me. I'm just kidding.
What about Quagmire? On Family Guy. Giggity.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, or the old guy.
Me?
Or the old guy.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
He goes, hey, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you come over and take your shirt off and mow the lawn?
Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Come
weird
on.
to me.
How sensitive are we,
Every single day we wake up and there's like something else. Here's the thing. I don't know anybody that has ever, when people say, people are sensitive. Whatever. I don't know anyone that's ever wanted to cancel anything. Who is it?
Yeah.
Who are those people?
The people that sit home and don't do a fucking thing.
Yeah, you're
lazy, just on their phone all day looking at Instagram and social media and bullshit.
You're probably right. There's
Does that answer your question?
yeah, it's just fucking lazy losers. Travis, do you have any problem with any Disney characters or Dr. Seuss books?
Not because they should be canceled. I think that, Mike Wazowski is a little bit scarier.
Yes.
He freaked me out when I was a child.
Yes, agreed. 100% agreed. There's a new app out there, or a new business coming together. I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
Okay.
It's called Loco Las Vegas. Ever
I
heard
don't
of it?
know about this.
So Grubhub and Postmates, all those, right?
Yeah.
The big pushback during the pandemic was, hey, these companies are taking 30% of the restaurant's money.
Right.
So,
Yeah, they take a big fee.
Right. And as a restaurant owner, I'm not going to have Postmates. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
I'm not. A band of Las Vegas restaurant owners came together. This company did start in Ohio City. They're going to be this company is owned by restaurant owners, right? That's
positive
right?
already.
They're going to be 15% they're going to charge. So it's half of what Postmates, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and all that. They charge 30% fee on top. They're only going to charge 15% of the order, so that's better. And they're going to pay their drivers at least $15 an hour. You're a big fan of Postmates or whatever, but as a restaurant owner, what would you...
I get it.
It's beyond big, right? So they started this in Richmond, Knoxville, Iowa City, Omaha. There's a ton of them. They're also going to decrease as it go. Would you be willing to switch over your Postmates subscription? Because I know you're a big Postmates guy or Uber Eats guy. Would you be willing to switch over just for the fact that it's going to help out these local guys?
Well, first off, I had to see if I'm in a year contract or if they have me on a reoccurring first. I'd have to make sure because if I'm paying yearly and it's going to just carry over, I'll probably just stick with them. But if I can get out of it, yeah, for sure I would.
It sounds like a good idea. I think restaurants have been
They do whack. The upcharge is insane.
So there was actually a law passed or a bill passed here in Nevada that these places could only charge up to 15%, like these companies. And our local legislation passed it. It said, okay, Postmates and all you guys can only charge 15%. Unfortunately, they kind of worked their way around it where they say, okay, our fees are only 15%, but then all this other nonsense that they added all these like sneaky little bills that we
you get like
about.
a chicken sandwich for like $10 and it's like $25.
Right.
It's what the fuck's going on
It's
here?
ridiculous, and it killed a lot of businesses. So
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see kind of like another business.
I am too.
We needed something. I didn't know what else we could possibly have, but those guys had a monopoly and they made billions of dollars because no one was leaving the house over quarantine.
Yeah.
So Loco Las Vegas, everybody. Check it out.
So I talked about this past week, the city kind of being busy, right?
Oh, yeah, how
and
was
being
work?
out. It was good. Like pools were busy, clubs were busy, everything was great. And then I see yesterday that potentially conventions in March may be coming.
Yeah.
Which is big news. We talked about this last week, maybe in June, but now they're saying maybe some smaller conventions might come in. Not like the CESs of the world, right? Maybe something that pumps up, 50,000
a real
people,
estate convention.
25,000 people,
How
something
much
like
planning do you need for something like that, though? Usually it takes months.
It depends on how big it is, obviously. Like something like CES probably takes months to plan.
Year, yeah.
Yeah, but something like 10, 20,000 people, I don't know, a couple weeks probably.
Hey, we're going to Vegas, everybody. Pack your bags.
Yeah,
Pew!
give me a convention center, rent it out, and boom, just get it plug and play.
Bring your masks. We're going to Vegas.
So that's exciting.
I would love to see conventions come back. We talk about it almost every episode, how important it is.
Yeah.
And people don't realize how important it is.
Hey, I got a
I'm
question
into
for
it.
you.
Go ahead.
What were you doing at IKEA yesterday?
Oh, my God. I forgot
What was that?
I forgot that I put that on
What
on
were you
social
doing
media.
there yesterday?
I got dragged to IKEA for...
Had to been your girl made you go there.
Of course there is. When you got the baby coming
Yeah.
there. Girls get excited to do
Baby things.
rooms.
Yeah.
Okay? That's one place where I don't want any say in what goes on.
Right.
Mostly because I don't want to get blamed when it's ugly.
Right.
So I let my girl go, let's go to IKEA. Sure, no problem. We get in there. Now she's pregnant, so she's got to pee every 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's automatically going to set me. That's a -1 deduction of me having a good time. Okay, you got to go pee all the time. Second thing was their big cafeteria was closed. You can't get a Swedish meatball. We're going to -1 on that as well because that's not a fun time.
Right.
If I'm going to be there, I might as well get a Swedish meatball.
Yeah.
They didn't have that. We go walk around. There's a lot of stuff. In my mind, every single thing she's looking at, in my head, and she told me I didn't have to, but I'm thinking, every single thing I'm looking at is I have to put that together.
Oh,
and
God.
we already talked about this before.
Yes.
I despise putting together small little furniture. Give me something big. Give me a big project. I'll paint the house.
I think IKEA may be the worst of like putting things together.
We did find some stuff that we like, and of course, when you're there, we started with the baby room, but that ended up we're gonna do the playroom for my other daughter. Then we're gonna look for downstairs stuff.
Well, yeah. Well, I just
Do you want
started.
to know? Do you want to know the grand total of the things we got?
Tell me.
$0 because we didn't buy anything. We just
Good.
walked around and did laps.
Okay, so you were just window shopping.
It was just I'm a looky-loo. I was being a looky-loo at
It's
IKEA.
better off than buying some stupid fucking thing, and then you come home and it's 4 hours, and she can't help you. She's pregnant.
She said she would do everything.
But she's
I'm
pregnant.
not
You don't
gonna
want
let
her to do that. That's on you.
I'm not gonna let her do everything.
So then that's you, and you got to text some handyman and be like, "Hey,
yeah,
$100, come over. $50, come over and put this thing together. Well worth it.
people are down for that. In this
Well worth it.
in this
People need the
economy.
work.
Yeah, but baby rooms are not.
Baby
for
room's
men.
not up my alley. I don't know anything about that.
No.
What about sports, Chris?
Well, I'm looking at your shirt. It just
Yeah.
reminded me. Today,
Yeah.
VGK, the Vegas Golden Knights, announced 20% capacity for their stadium. Which
Huge.
It went up from 15%.
Whatever,
So
we'll take it.
it's kind of whatever.
But I think on the 15th there may be another.
Another bump.
Yeah.
So they can have 3,473 fans to be exact.
Take it.
Tight.
Tight.
Tight. Ah.
Everything's tight.
It's kind of cool. I mean, I'm not super into 2,400 fans in an 18,000 person
Yeah.
arena.
Now it's 3,400.
Yeah, 3,400
I mean,
people.
it's 1,000 more people or whatever it is.
I'll take it. I can't get excited until we can have the fortress full.
I got a bill today for my Raiders tickets
Me
for
too.
next season. I'm like, hold on 1 second.
$1,000
I'm not paying a fucking thing until I know I can go to those games.
Oh, we can go to those games.
All right,
baby.
we talk about that a lot, but I just want to make sure.
We're going to go to those games. Hakkasan, your company, also announced they're opening Hakkasan nightclub coming up soon.
Yeah.
March 26th. You
Yeah,
want to talk about
March
that?
25th. Yeah,
25th,
Well, I
yeah.
think things were just heating up, and we had a great week last week.
They said,
things were
"Fuck it."
busy, and they were like, "Yeah, let's."
How
open
was
this.
Omnia? You opened up
Busy.
Omnia outside?
Yeah, so we just opened the outside, the terrace, and we sold out both nights. I mean, it's busy.
Quick.
Yeah, and we're opening up the heart room, the hip hop room, so we'll have both.
Was there any demand outside the door? People
So
couldn't-
much. We must have
Really?
turned down. Yeah, we must have turned down like 20 tables both nights.
Really?
Yeah,
So
bro,
was it kind of
crazy.
like, was it kind of old school? Like,
Yeah, it was like, I mean, at times it felt like a busy door like that, and then at times it felt like COVID, like, oh, there's no one here. So it was just like random people coming up.
What about the pools?
Normal first week of March business, nothing crazy.
I mean, if people that are watching, we're in hoodies right now.
yeah, it's cold in Vegas, so
Vegas is very much just
March is a weird month.
It's strange. It was 80 degrees the other day, and we were outside playing with the kids, and then all of a sudden now it's freezing, raining,
Yeah.
snowing in certain parts of Vegas.
It usually heats up about March Madness.
People ask me every single year, and I hope they're watching, are the pools open? Are the pools open? I tell them, do not expect to come to Vegas before Memorial Day
Yeah.
and have hot weather.
Yeah.
You might get a good weekend.
Yeah, you may catch a March Madness week,
90
or,
degrees, maybe. Like
first week of April, maybe.
Right, but for the most part, you're looking 80
That's
degrees.
perfect. I'd like 90. 90 to 100 is money.
That's when you're living good at the
That's when
pools.
I'm loving it. Once it gets to 110 and I'm wearing a mask, I'm miserable.
Well, Hakkasan brought back 350 employees total.
That's great.
So, I mean, between waitresses and bussers and bartenders and
It's all
this
positive stuff.
managers, I think we're looking towards, like we've been saying all along, May 1 might be a full go completely. But I'm happy to see Hakkasan back. Obviously, a lot of friends over there and a lot of people have jobs. Sticking on sports, though, Las Vegas, UNLV, number 7 in the Mountain West Conference.
It's not great.
Not great. They played Air Force, though, and they smacked them up.
Okay. So they're in the quarterfinals?
So they're advancing to the next round. I'm not sure what round
Quarter
it
or
is.
semis?
I think it's quarter.
Yeah.
And they're playing the number 2 seed, Utah State, tonight.
Okay.
In front of no fans.
It's terrible.
Well, okay, why can the Golden Knights have 3,400?
Are they no, they're not in Vegas, are they?
They're in Vegas.
Oh, they are?
They're at Thomas.
Oh, they always play that. Yeah, they play the
It's where it
tournament
is.
here, yeah.
Why can't they have 1,500 fans there? I would love to go to that game.
I would
tonight.
go to that. I would go to that over the hockey game.
You would go to that.
Be a little bit more intimate, I feel like, a basketball game.
Same size stadium.
Not a big arena. Yeah, maybe
Smaller
you're
one?
right. I don't know. Maybe I just like basketball better.
Yeah, you just like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Better.
I'd like to go to both games.
They're our only real hometown team for college.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about the football team and the recruiting process. It's terrible. There's no reason that.
It's hot garbage.
The thing about it is UNLV used to be good at basketball. That's the thing. UNLV football's never been good.
I mean,
never been good.
Larry Johnson.
Come on, Greg Anthony,
Stacey Augmon,
the Plastic Man. I mean, it's been good.
Plastic Man is his nickname.
Man.
What a great
But
nickname.
Vegas, UNLV has been good at basketball, so there's no reason they couldn't be good again. They couldn't.
That's
they
fair.
Can get recruits.
That's fair. I think that they can come back and be somewhat relevant, but they're never going to be Kentucky. They're never gonna be,
No, never. Speaking of basketball, what did you think? This past week was the All-Star game.
Yes. Was it in Atlanta?
In Atlanta. They did some different stuff this time. it was a little complicated, but basically each quarter they were playing for a charity. Each quarter, I think if you won the quarter, it was like $150,000 to HBCU,
Right.
which is
The historically black universities, yeah.
which is great. So it's a little different, and then it ended up being like in the fourth quarter, if you got to a certain number of points, like the game ended or whatever, because nobody really cares. I mean, it's not competitive.
Yeah.
But one thing they did the dunk contest at halftime. What'd you think of that?
I thought I actually did watch some of the game. I watched a little bit of the dunk contest. That was probably the best idea they had.
Yeah.
Other than that, and the 3-point contest, which is always the best, the entire.
I was
going to
say that
the entire thing is garbage.
So I want to talk about that. So is it me or is it the 3-point contest is timeless, right?
It's awesome.
It never gets old.
It's exciting. It's always exciting.
Maybe it's just because we've seen every dunk now. Is that what it is? Or it's just because no one cool does. Like, why is Zion not in the dunk contest?
Why is Zion, LeBron?
Yeah, like
the dude
it's
from
just
the
not
Heat?
cool. It's not cool.
Well-
It's not cool to do the dunk contest. That's why.
Well, no, I hate. It's the same exact thing for baseball. Why are
yeah,
the best,
why aren't the best hitters in the home run
Why
derby?
wasn't Barry Bonds and Ken Griffey
right?
every
Never
single
in it.
year? Right?
Yeah,
It
they
was
did like one time, right?
Right. It's like or Aaron Judge and baseball actually is different because you can actually really get hurt because you're swinging a lot and you're trying to swing hard. Basketball, these guys are dunking every day in practice.
I would at least Zion should have been in it.
I think that listen. I think
He's the best dunker in the NBA.
I
He
think
should be in the dunk
I
contest.
think the dunk contest should go away.
I do too. It's terrible.
I think there should be
and the
another.
skills challenge is awful.
They tried.
Awful.
They
They've done it
tried.
for a few years. It's terrible. The
What else could they
3-point
do?
contest is I don't know.
What else could they do? Here's my idea.
Oh, I like the rock and jock thing. Yeah,
That's-
like a 50-foot hoop.
Put a 30 or 40-foot net up there.
Yeah, make it a 10-point shot. I mean, you got Steph Curry and Dame Lillard hitting half-court shots. They could probably hit those.
They can all hit those.
Yeah, so that's what I would do. I would make the game something like that because listen, these and rightfully so. I don't have a problem with any of these guys dogging it during the All-Star game because it means nothing.
Which is a problem.
Of course.
The reason why I thought it was cool this time is because they were playing for charity.
It was cool, and they actually try. I mean, if the game's close, they usually try in the fourth
But like
quarter.
in baseball, it matters. If
Yeah.
you win, your team gets home field.
They need to make something. They need to put something on the line.
I was watching old highlights of the 1996. And I know this is going way back, but I wanted to just like look at old ones. The 1996 All-Star game. It's like Jordan, all these guys, right? It's like the great. I actually took some stats. I think I don't know if I write them down here, but they were 43s taken back then. They were 40,
Probably 100.
43 pointers taken in that one. It was a real game. It combined.
Yeah.
This one there was like 150.
Yeah.
It's more than 3 times the amount. Like it's not even a game.
It's
they
a
don't
totally
care.
different thing.
It's not. No one cares about winning. There's nothing for it.
So I think they need to do is they need to put something on the line, make it something.
Money?
Money. Those guys are all rich, so not money. Home court advantage. Something needs to be on the line.
It needs to be home court
But
advantage.
it's also you can't even do that because it's not East-West anymore. They just pick the teams now, so it's random. LeBron can pick Steph.
Go back to the other way.
Yeah,
East,
I
West.
agree. It's
And
way
then
better like
make
that.
it something.
But
Switch.
at least Steph won the greatest shooter in the history of basketball. Won 3-point contest.
You'll never hear an argument.
And I
for
love
that.
watching that.
It's shooting is timeless because it's
Yeah.
something that like anybody.
It
can do.
is funny.
You know what I want to see? I want to see center 3-point contest.
There you go. That is a great idea.
Center 3-point
Somebody,
contest.
I was listening to Bill Simmons' pod. He actually said that. Like
Oh, really?
someone, yes. So like, give me the top 5 worst 3-point shooting percentages in the league.
How great would it
Let's
been-
watch them do it.
How awesome back in the day if it was Shaq, Yao Ming.
It'd be hilarious.
Right? It'd be awesome.
Would be hilarious.
And
That's
and
actually
fun.
a great idea.
And just fun for the fans.
Yes.
These guys all. You know why LeBron doesn't do the slam dunk contest? I know why.
Why?
Because if he doesn't win,
Right.
it's a blemish on his
Right.
thing. Oh, Jordan won. You shouldn't care.
Yeah.
It's for the fans. I remember being a little kid being so excited to
At
see.
some point, it just became not cool to do the dunk contest.
Yeah, because these guys are
I
soft.
don't know what it
Get
is.
off the, I don't want to talk about the NBA anymore. NFL salary cap came out. It's $182 million, which is $16 million less than last year. So they lowered the salary cap. Obviously, the NFL lost money.
They lost
this year,
a lot of money.
Right? The Raiders have a ton of money available. They're going to
Yeah.
have a ton of money. They're going to drop some guys. Jeff Heath, Brandon Parker, Carl Nassib, Jalen Richard. They're all going to be probably released.
Good.
That's $12.5 million more in savings.
What did we have before? Like 30?
We've got $33 million. You could put another $10 million if Mariota, our backup quarterback, gets traded or released, which he
should.
He's going to, for himself.
No reason to have a guy like that on the backup.
No.
Get rid of him.
So you're looking at a lot of money
Like almost
available.
40-something
You're
million, which
looking
is
at
a good number.
A lot of money available. Who should we get? Who do the Raiders need right now?
Probably, I mean, selfishly, I would like a receiver. But what we need is defense.
It's all defense.
So I would say we need to get a pass rusher.
Right.
Shaq Barrett's available. Bud Dupree's available.
Bud Dupree.
There's a bunch of good pass rushers. I think we should probably, if Jeff Heath's leaving, we probably need a safety. I don't know. There's guys out there.
There's guys out there. I don't want to spend $1 on offense.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Give it all to the defense because you're going you're going to be playing Mahomes.
Yeah, unless you can get like a cheap receiver, like a cheap veteran or something. Maybe
we sign Nelson Aguilar. We're going to maybe be in the market
I agree.
for an Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson got franchised.
Oh, franchise. That's right.
We don't need.
What's
we have
his
enough.
name?
Juju's available.
Juju.
Yeah.
His name's been floating around forever.
We don't need it. We have enough. Offense is not a problem.
Yeah.
We keep talking about it. Defense is obviously an issue.
Yeah, we're going to need something back there.
I think the Russell Wilson stuff's kind of quieted.
Dead.
Yeah, it's kind of dead now.
I'm excited.
We had a fun week of that.
The draft is going to be fun, though.
Yeah.
The draft is coming up in a few weeks.
It's like 45 days away or something
Them
like
and my Jets have they got so many picks. The Jets have, I think, 6 picks in the top 80 or something like that. They got so many for what they need, but they need a whole fucking team.
Speaking of football, now this is funny because about a year ago on this same time, we still have a segment called Clown of the Week.
Yeah, we'll keep that.
We still have it. We'll do it from time to time. We had a guy on this named Dak Prescott. He was the Clown of the Week because he turned down $140 million. And this week he signed a contract for $160 million. $70 million this year, guaranteed money. What do you think about that?
I love it, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
And he could have lost it all.
He could have.
When you tear up your knee as a quarterback, one little way to the left or the right, you're done.
He could have had an Alex Smith situation. Luckily, he didn't.
So anytime you're turning away $100-something million,
I wouldn't advise that.
That's not in my financial plan.
It worked out in his favor.
It worked out for him. I think they need him. There's no one else to get.
No,
they want to be competitive. They got their guy.
Me and you have been around the Cowboys. We've talked about it on the pod, and they call him captain, and they look at him like he is the leader of the team. So I'm happy for him.
They love him, and I'm not even a Cowboy fan. I like him. I'm a fan.
And too bad for us for calling him clown of the week, but he is.
Yeah, he's a paid.
Now he's the paid man.
Let's cut right to it. Let's get to our world famous segment here. It's the world famous Trash or Cash, boys and girls.
Trash or cash.
3 topics every week, and every week we don't tell each other what we're walking into. We don't go over it. We don't discuss it. G, what do you got for me? Is it trash or cash? Let's hear it.
So it's pool season.
It is.
I'm Italian. I'm a hairy guy.
Yes.
Yeah, beard, chest, whatever, legs. Is trimming your hair on your legs trash or cash?
Oh my God. It's cash. It's cash. You're keeping yourself tidy.
Okay.
We're doing a lot of manscaping stuff lately.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it because it's the time of year, but it's cash. You know what? If you're not working, it's not as big of a deal, but you're in the public eye.
Right.
You don't want to be out there all sloppy. I'll call it cash.
Okay. I'm going to go, if you're single, and you're single and you're out and you're whatever, I think it's cash. But hold on, Travis. If you're a married man like me, it's trash.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't need to worry about somebody looking at my legs. I don't give a shit. I got a happy wife at home. She doesn't mind my hairy legs. I'm going trash.
Now,
but with that being said, I still could trim them a little bit.
Without naming anybody, one of our coworkers who he worked with, he had a hard policy.
Yeah, hard policy on leg hair.
On making sure that you trimmed your hair. So you kind of going back on that now?
Yeah, I could trim them a little bit, but I don't need to shave them or anything.
So embarrassing.
Yeah.
All right, G, when I was walking around, I told you I didn't buy anything.
Right.
Over at IKEA. I bought nothing.
Right.
I refused. But when I was there, I had a revelation. I don't have many plants in my home. None. Mm-hmm. I see one. I see a couple behind you over there.
Little plant life.
Little plant life. There's one over my shoulder right here. But they're not real. Real plants in the home. Is that trash or cash? Real plants.
Trash, because they're just going to die. It's a waste of money.
Really?
Yeah, I've done it. I like fake plants. I do. I have some in my backyard. I have a few in my house. It's nice. It stays. You don't know no upkeep. You just put them in there and they stay looking good. And IKEA has a lot of good stuff. So I'm gonna go trash.
Does this kind of go along the lines of fake trees for Christmas that you like?
Yes.
So
it's the same exact thing.
I'm gonna go
plug and play, bro.
Real plants are trash as well. I thought you might like those a little bit. I don't have a green thumb. Anytime I have one, they just die in a week. I don't know how people keep them alive. And people can tell me all the water at this time. Put in this sunlight. Here's a quick story. I never told you this story before. It's one of our good friends. I'll tell you after who. He left me in charge of his bonsai tree. Mm-hmm. He went on vacation. He had a bonsai tree. He left it to me. He said it was very important. It came from the side of a mountain in Japan. It's probably bullshit. He probably bought it from the corner of the. There used to be a guy that sold bonsai trees by us. Anyway, I had it at the house. He gave me instructions of like the lighting, the angles, how often to water it. I had it for like 4 days. I think I killed it. And he never brought it up to me afterwards. I just gave it back to him. I could just tell when he got it that it
you
wasn't.
didn't take good care of it.
I tried.
Yeah.
But like I don't have that skill. That is you need to have a green thumb.
My wife has a green thumb.
And
I don't. Every time I buy my wife flowers, they're dead in 3 days.
And
because they're not properly taken care of.
How do you take care of flowers at home?
Well, first off, you have to put they give you like the
what is that
medicine
stuff?
I don't even know what it is.
No one knows what that is. It's shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
The stuff you dump in.
Who knows what that is? It could be like
it.
It could be a placebo. Who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, real
trash.
plants in the home, garbage.
Okay,
trash.
so here's one for you. Everyone gets this, but us living in Vegas, we get this more because we help people do stuff, right? We're always people are asking favors of you. How about when you get a text from someone you haven't heard in a while, but they give you the, hey, Kris, and you go, and you're like, okay, this guy hasn't texted me in a while. Yeah. You go, hey, what's up? How you been? You're like, okay, I've been good. What's up? Not much. I'm doing good too. You're like, dude, just ask me. Would you long story here, but would you prefer someone to just come out and just say, hey, I need this, this, and this, or do you like the little game? The little game. Trash or cash?
I'm gonna go cash on the little game. I like the little game. Make it seem like you give a shit about me. A lot of times I get, hey, Kris, your daughter's beautiful.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, what do you want, pal?
Can you get me and my 15 friends into Omni on Saturday? I like the game. I'd rather that than them just ask me, because them just asking me, that's rude.
Okay.
Don't just come up. At least do a little something. There are times where I've asked people for things. I don't ask for a lot of favors because I just hate doing it. But if I do, I always make sure to say, hey, Travis, I hope the family's well. I see you're eating good, looking right, working out. And then, can you do a podcast for free? I don't know, whatever, right? I like the little bullshit combo before.
So I'm going to go trash. Go ahead and drop that. I'm going to just let you know what you do, okay? If you text me and you need a favor, just say, because this is what I do, hey, Gino, I need a favor. And then to ask me what it is. And I'm fine with that. I don't care about little chit-chat games that we need to play, because I don't need to play that game with you.
Hey, Gino, wedding pictures look great.
Yeah, I don't need that. Hey, how are you and Jeannie? How the dog? I don't need that. Just say, hey, Gino, need a favor. Shoot, what do you got? And I'll just let you know if I can do it or not, because that's what I do.
I think you're just a cold individual.
There's no surprise here that this is where I stand on this.
Absolutely
I'm going
not.
Trash.
No surprise. At home, me and you are both the same, where we can't handle one of the foods that maybe we used to handle a little bit more, and that's dairy, right? That's milk. I don't have whole milk in the house anymore.
Right.
There's a lot of exotic milks out there, and I've just been introduced to them that I didn't know they don't make you sick.
Yeah.
Things like almond milk, any kind of nut milk. Are you trash or cash with exotic milks?
I like almond milk. I'm going to go cash.
Ooh.
I love almond milk. I actually drink almond milk every day in my protein shakes. Delicious. Light, delicious. Doesn't screw my stomach up.
Yeah.
It's really light on my stomach, so I'm going to go cash.
I'm going to go trash. I'll ruin my stomach all day long.
2% milk?
No, I like whole milk.
Oh, my God. You drink whole milk? What are we in, junior high?
I don't know the difference, really.
Oh, my God.
Someone has to educate me on milks. I don't drink milk, but if I want it, I want the real taste of milk.
So, have you ever tried almond milk?
I have. Yeah. I have some. It's just not my thing.
Doesn't do it for you, huh?
First of all, what's the science behind getting milk out of nuts?
Yeah, I don't know. We've actually talked about this before.
Yeah, dude,
we actually looked this up. I remember we looked it up one time.
I can't remember what it was. I just have no desire.
Yeah, how do you make milk out of almonds?
You're squeezing milk out of things that don't look milky.
Yeah, true that. I'm with you on that.
Trash.
Okay, last one for me is, and I'm pretty sure I want to know where you stand on this. One of my boys posted on Facebook. He was at this Italian restaurant last week. It will go nameless because I don't want to be that guy. He said my favorite, he either said my favorite Italian restaurant in town or the best Italian restaurant in town. And I was like, okay. And I just wrote, no, it's not. And he goes, ooh, yeah. You know why? Because the place doesn't have a good chicken parm. Okay, is it trash or cash? Can you be a good Italian restaurant and not put out a good chicken parm?
No, it's trash. You can't. Yeah, that is the staple of any Italian restaurant in my opinion.
Yes, it is, my friend.
If I have not been to your restaurant and you serve Italian food, I will most certainly reach for the chicken parm first.
Right, or a veal parm.
I will go chicken parm.
But I'm just saying, if you don't have a good like a carbone.
Correct. You need to. It's got to be, man. It's got to be.
Okay, great. So if I go to a Mexican restaurant, I'm getting guac. And I want to know, The first thing I do when I sit down at a Mexican restaurant is I order guac.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yep, and I'm going to mention it again. Because when I go to an Italian restaurant for the first time,
Same
my
thing.
wife gets so annoyed.
Why are we like
You're going to get the chicken parm again? Yeah, I'm going to get the chicken parm
That's a
because I
little-
want to see where this place stands.
That's a very little kid order that we do.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the reason why people complain. If I go to dinner with like a bunch of customers or whatever, and we're having fancy Italian dinner, and I get chicken parm, they look at me like, "What are you, 5 years old?"
Yeah, but it's how I see it's how I stack this restaurant up in the. You know how we are. I'm very big in rankings. I want to know where this place stacks up in the city.
Hey, listen. Well, Trattoria, our local sponsor
Great
now,
chicken parm.
phenomenal.
Great chicken parm.
I promise you, I'll go there tonight.
Okay.
I will. Last one for me. It's Vegas. It's the wintertime. Skin's a little dry, a little itchy.
So dry.
Right? The whole body. Yeah, got the girlfriend or the wife, and maybe put some lotion on you.
Okay.
I was told my feet were a little dry.
Where's this
Put some.
going?
No, not that far.
Okay.
Your feet get a little dry. My girl told me that the best way to help that is lotion and then a sock on there when you go to bed. I can't wear socks to bed.
Oh,
Socks in
man.
bed. Is that trash or cash?
Trash. I can't wear a shirt to bed and I can't wear socks to bed. No
Just
way.
restrictions?
Trash. I don't want any restrictions. I start getting all jammed up in bed. No. Trash.
I'm going to go cash because of this
Wow.
situation. If you have dry feet and you throw a little lotion on there and keep a sock on, it does help. Now, I'm not saying my feet are disgustingly dry or anything
Right.
like that, but a little winter dryness, maybe 1 or 2 nights, it's cash. Give it a try.
So this goes to what I told you last week when you're getting a pedicure. Got that paraffin wax. It's the same thing.
I should go do that. Paraffin
It's the same.
wax.
I'll go with you.
Actually, we should get that. We should live record that. Travis, I know you're down for pedicures too. You come down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come down to
there.
Southern Highlands. We'll treat you to a pedi. All right. That's trash or
Perfect.
cash.
That's Trash or Cash presented by Barcode Burgers. There, if you're looking for the best burgers in Las Vegas, we got the spot. It's Barcode Burger Bar, and it's cash. The burgers, wings, and local beer selection is the reason why it's the #1 spot in town to catch a Golden Knights or Raiders game. Stop by Barcode Burgers. It's located at 1590 East Flamingo, and you can follow them at Barcode Burgers. Our really good friend Cody Tomboli.
Man.
He'll be on the podcast in a
Yeah.
couple weeks. Really good guy. If you're hungry, you want a good restaurant to
Me
eat.
and you both go over there all the time. Great
Yes.
food. They have exotics.
They do have exotics. We get the Nick Kwiatkowski burger,
Yeah,
the linebacker
friend of
for
the pod.
friend of the pod, who will also be on the show soon.
Yes.
Captain of the Raiders. He has his own burger there. So make sure you go see them. Gino, we wrapped up episode 39.
Now I feel like we're pretty comfy in the new studio. We're 2 episodes in. We feel
Settled in.
good. We had the owner of the building come in and grace us this week.
Yes.
I feel good. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and at YouTube. You can follow us at the Well Connected IG. And please subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Well Connected Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Cash.